What's up, guys? I'm Chris Spags here, back with another Four Corners video for today's 10-game MLB main slate, courtesy of Osmo.com. It's been a hell of a week for hitting, so let's keep it going and give you guys a chance to win a free month of an Osmo Plus membership. Like this video right now, comment your double dong pick down below, the guy you think is going to hit 2 home runs today. If you're correct and you like the video, you'll be entered to win a free month of an Osmo Plus membership. So do that right now, like the video, and comment your double dong pick down below, and I'll reveal the results of yesterday's contest a little bit later in the video. But let's get on to today's slate with the top pitchers, and Rich Hill going against San Francisco should be a popular option today. Hill gets 2.8 implied runs against him, and he's expected to be the number 1 owned pitcher on FanDuel with 25%, while he'll be number 2 on DraftKings with 32% and Yahoo with 34%. Though Hill has flaws with the 4.7% home run rate he allows this year, his 10.2 Ks per 9 and 1.1 whip show the ability to get strikeouts and limit damage. So versus San Francisco, who has a 112 ISO and a 66 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching, it's a strong floor/ceiling spot for Hill. Hill's a solid option today with a very low likelihood of blowing up given how bad San Francisco is on the other side. I like Hill a lot, even though I may go a bit under the field on his ownership for some reasons I'll explain a little bit later in the video. Jon Lester versus the Chicago White Sox should also be popular today with 3.1 implied runs against him. He'll be the number 1 owned pitcher on DraftKings with 36% and Yahoo with 39%, while he'll be number 2 on FanDuel with 24%. Lester's Vegas total is low, and his 8.8 Ks per 9 is decent versus a White Sox lineup who has a 24% K rate versus left-hand pitching. But Lester is no sure thing with an 8.2% swing strike rate and 42% hard contact allowed that could cause issues. It could be a rainy situation in Chicago today, so watch the weather closely as we head up to lock, but it's a decent spot for Lester, one in which I'm still inclined to be a bit under the field because I don't see the crazy upside for him that I would want out of a guy who's going to be as chalky as he is today. And Andrew Heaney at Toronto should also find some ownership today with 4.3 implied runs against him. Heaney's also expected to be one of the top 3 owned pitchers pretty much everywhere today across the industry. Heaney has been strong with 12.5 Ks per 9 this year, which matches up well with Toronto's 24% K rate versus left-hand pitching, but Heaney struggles with power with a 6.8% home run rate and a 61% fly ball rate could be an issue in a top home run park in Toronto. I think Heaney looks solid here, but some one-off bats going against him could be interesting leverage given the power that Heaney gives up and the fact that Toronto's park has been one of the better ones for hitting home runs this year. On to our next corner, the top stacks, and a Cleveland stack going against Joe Palumbo should be popular today with 5.5 implied runs for them. It's another nice spot for Cleveland with warm Texas weather and a nifty pitcher across from them yet again. Cleveland did just enough yesterday in a similar spot to get value as a stack, while Palumbo hasn't shown much in a limited MLB sample size, so full stacks and mini stacks can be useful with a range of prices on Cleveland's side. Cleveland can be frustrating with some guys underperforming on the year, but the spot here is a strong one again in Texas with that heat, a nice hitting park, and a good matchup versus a pitcher who hasn't shown a lot so far in the majors and in the minors really. An Atlanta stack versus Steven Matz should also find some ownership today with 5.6 implied runs for them, which is a slate high. Matz can get strikeouts with 9.4 Ks per 9, but the 41% hard contact and a lowish 9% swing strike rate can mean production for Atlanta in warm weather and a positive hitting park. The bottom of the Atlanta order with Austin Riley, Ozzie Albies, and Tyler Flowers can be just as good as the top, with all 3 of those guys over a 142 WRC plus versus left-hand pitching, so there are many ways to stack Atlanta if Matz fails. Matz is not a bum pitcher, so if Atlanta remains a very chalky option, it could be worth having some leverage going Matz's way, but the spot here for Atlanta versus a left-handed pitcher is a strong one, especially in a warm weather, positive hitting park. And there'll be some people going back to an Angels stack today versus Aaron Sanchez with a 5.2 implied run total for them. The Angels project for a good amount of ownership, with Sanchez allowing a 1.6 whip and a positive hitting park. Sanchez limits home runs decently with an under-league average 2.6% home run rate going back to last season, but the 195 ISO for the Angels projected lineup makes at least mini stacks an interesting option. It's definitely not a sure thing spot like it was versus Edwin Jackson a few days ago, but the Angels do look solid here. I would just be more inclined to go with mini stacks or one-offs for them instead of a full stack because I think Sanchez can limit the production pretty well. On to our next corner, the lower owned options on today's slate, and Trevor Williams versus Detroit is a pitcher I like a lot. He gets 3.7 implied runs against him, and Williams 7 Ks per 9 are low, but Detroit brings a 26.3% K rate and 73 WRC plus versus right-hand pitching that are near lows on the slate. Williams misses bats decently with a 10.1% swing strike rate and a 36.4% chase rate, so with only Miguel Cabrera and Harold Castro under league average in strikeouts, Williams could have a surprisingly decent game. Williams strikes me as a very strong pivot to a chalky Jon Lester, so as long as Lester remains on the slate with the weather issues in Chicago, I think Williams can be a very strong tournament play as that pivot. And a Washington stack versus Jake Arrieta also looks interesting again with 5.2 implied runs for them. And for the 3rd straight day, the spot for Washington looks solid versus Arrieta with lefty bats particularly interesting. This game finally looks likely to play today, and the prices for Adam Eaton, Juan Soto, and Matt Adams are solid with Arrieta's 10.1 hits per 9 allowed to lefty bats. We've been camping out outside like an iPhone line waiting for this game to happen for Washington, so I think I'm willing to have some stacks here just for commemorative reasons if nothing else. A Dodger stack versus Drew Pomeranz also looks interesting with 4.7 implied runs for them. Despite a surprisingly strong 10.1 Ks per 9 on the year, Pomeranz allows 11 hits per 9 and a 4.7% home run rate so far in 2019. The righty bats for the Dodgers can be strong with Pomeranz's 1.9 whip and 11.1 hits per 9 allowed to that side of the plate. Without much ownership for anybody besides Kike Hernandez and a leadoff spot. Pomeranz has been up and down on the year, but he does seem capable of giving up production. A righty-heavy Dodgers lineup could have some nice days today at not a lot of ownership, it seems. And Max Scherzer versus Philly also interests me today with 3.5 implied runs against him. Scherzer was expected to pitch despite breaking his nose in batting practice yesterday, and the uncertainty around him and these postponed games with Washington and Philly could drive down his ownership. Scherzer could end up being an interesting pivot to a well-owned Rich Hill, given Philly's projected lineup's 25.9% K rate versus right-hand pitching, and Scherzer's 12.3 Ks per nine, which are tops on the slate. Scherzer is at a premium price, but paying up for him could be a situation that helps differentiate you in tournaments. I think the uncertainty around this game is one that's going to keep the ownership down for Scherzer, and we know he has really big upside. Now on to our last corner, the one-offs, and Austin Riley versus Steven Matz is one I like a lot. Riley has brutalized left-hand pitching in a limited sample size thus far with 53% hard contact and a 593 ISO, so while his 33% K rate is concerning, he could pay off in a big way in a good hitting situation. The price on Riley should keep his ownership down, but the spot could be a good one with likely base runners in front of him and Riley bringing a ton of power to knock him in. Kike Hernandez is also interesting in the leadoff spot today versus Drew Pomeranz. Hernandez is comically cheap and expected in the leadoff spot, with Pomeranz allowing 11.1 hits per nine to righties and a 4.7% home run rate, while Kike avoids strikeouts well with a 16.2% K rate and also brings decent power with a 187 ISO. Kike is insanely cheap, especially on DraftKings, and I think the spot's a decent one for him to take advantage of that low price. And Josh Bell versus Jordan Zimmerman is also a one-off who interests me today. Pittsburgh's stack could be interesting after almost getting there yesterday, but Bell's 223 ISO and 136 WRC plus are a nice matchup for the 4.7% home run rate that Zimmerman allows to righties. Zimmerman is not a great pitcher, but Bell's been hitting it really well in the air. I think the spot in a positive hitting park in Pittsburgh should be a good one for him, and even that Pittsburgh stack, despite Brian Reynolds really disappointing me yesterday. So there we have it. Those are my thoughts on today's slate. So right now, if you want to win that free month of an Osmo Plus membership, or if you just want to support me, like the video and comment your double dong pick down below. Yesterday, we had just one double dong in Major League Baseball. That was Whit Merrifield, and nobody picked him going against Yusei Kikuchi. So unfortunately, there's no free month being given away today, but the good news is we will have one for tomorrow. So right now, like the video and comment your double dong pick if you want to win that free month of an Osmo Plus premium membership. And if you don't want to be subject to the whims of the men hitting the long balls, you could also use that promo code Switch and Hedge for half off your first month or week of any Osmo Plus membership. Get all the ownership projections, the regular projections, the plug right into Fantasy Cruncher, the deep dive column every day, the rankings, the lineup builder. There's a million different tools that'll help you make better MLB DFS lineups. So use that promo code Switch and Hedge right now for half off your first month or week of any Osmo Plus membership. I'll be back on Live Before Lock today, so subscribe, hit that notification bell to know when we go live. Of course, go follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Chris Spags. I'm doing so many things on there any given day. Who knows what you'll be missing out on if you don't go follow me right now. And of course, I'll be back tomorrow with another Four Corners video, so enjoy the rest of your day and good luck.